Welcome to Mari Media. Mustapha Gbande, DARES Chief Justice, to release details of the petition seeking to remove her as Chief Justice of Ghana to the public. Subscribe to Mari Media for more news updates. But let's go and listen to what Mr. Gbande said in the audio.
Just quickly on the Chief Justice, the minority says that you're instigating processes to remove her, and that is dangerous. Let me put it simply, it's dangerous for the country's judiciary. How do you respond?
Well, we haven't amended our laws. The same laws give President Akufo-Addo the right to remove the Charlotte Osei. They are all independent institutions. She removed her. We have come not just repeating precedents, but we deal with everyone case by case basis. The Chief Justice would have to go. The Electoral Commission chairperson and other politically exposed directors would have to go. And indeed, they will go. It's just a matter of time. So that we can fill those places with persons who are not politically exposed. But
are you not lending into the arguments by the NPP that this is deliberate, this is machinations from the NDC?
Are there people who the nation listens to? They are not people who have a voice. These were the very individuals who lived in this country and supervised all the wrong things that were happening. And we are trying to correct because it affects them. Look, President Akufo-Addo kept and packed the judiciary so that all the appointees who will be taken to court will escape. Yeah, but you are calling for accountability. But if you don't clean the judiciary so that law takes precedence over the judiciary, confidence of the Ghanaians take precedence over personalities, we are not going anywhere. You see, the current Chief Justice is politically exposed.
Where's due process in all of this argument you make that she must go and all of that?
Process is when the provisions of the Constitution have been triggered. People have petitioned. And petitions are still ongoing. They are coming.
There are more petitions against the... How many? We've heard of 3. How many more do we know about?
The Chief Justice knows that there are more petitions against her. You know, including issues that borders on criminality. And all of these, fidelity of the constitutional provisions have been given respect.
You mentioned criminality in relation to the Chief Justice. What is the criminality that's...
She should leak the petitions that was given to her to respond. She should leak that one too. She's giving it to them, but they should leak it so that Ghanaians will get to know what the contents are. But
you've seen the content and there are matters of criminality in there?
That the Chief Justice demanded the President to furnish her with copies of the petition. That have been done. She should leak it. She should give it to the public so that you have an appreciation of what the issues are. But having said so, I'm just saying the due process is when a petition has been received and the President decides that the Constitution says I have to give it to the Council of State to seek their opinions. And the President forwards same to the Council of State, which is made up of persons even believed to be MPP, persons who have led the institution of the judiciary before, persons who are more respected in this country. They will look at it and recommend. Then the President then comes back to look at the issues. That is due process. Due process is broken when you go and get MPP people to be making noise that you should be protected. She's rather, killing her protection by letting politicians and going to Central Region to organize. So the Chief Justice is now a General Secretary of a political party. When she's faced with crisis, she goes to organize public, her family people, and her constituency, which is Apenyoma King's constituency, to do demonstration. Do you want to have that person as your Chief Justice?
These are quite serious allegations that the Chief Justice is organizing persons to demonstrate against the ongoing processes for a removal.
I'm a politician, and we are in this country. We know how demonstrations are done. Okay? And I'm saying that the Chief Justice getting, MPP MPs who do not advance law, but emotional blackmail of their inability to process credible arguments that will enhance the performance and the trust, the confidence of the public as far as the judiciary is concerned, yet believe that we should espouse political interest in all these matters, will not save the Chief Justice. Because the ordinary Ghanaian believes that justice have become so expensive, okay, in this country. The ordinary Ghanaian sees the CJ as a politically exposed. Even without any wrongdoing, it's important that we preserve the sanctity of those institutions. And so it's also good that President Muhammad did not take the law into his hands, but he has triggered fair process, due process, processes that protects the credibility of the Chief Justice as far as these matters are concerned, to ensure that she's given the opportunity to respond, let other bodies look at it, and then we take it from there. I don't see why people are, at speed introducing the presidency into some of these matters. Look, if Ghanaians believe that the president has a problem, they will go to the polls and they'll vote him out. Is that not so? Do you say that because you love him and others say that they don't love him, there is some sort of manipulation on the minds of Ghanaians? Ghanaians say that we don't want the woman, let her go. All persons who have misconducted themselves in the past should not be leading our public institutions.
Let's talk oral briefly. Is it a lost cause? A lot of people voted for the NDC because you were going to prosecute persons who've looted. We haven't heard quite a lot since then.
Let me assure you that anybody who have stolen from this country will be arrested. But you see, people want us to do it very fast. It can't be done that way. Because, look, if you go to NIB, there are elements there at the analysis who are MPP people. And all they do is to leak information. Okay? If you go to some of these sensitive institutions, people are still there who are leaking investigative informations. So if you start without cleaning up the place, you are fighting an already defeated cause. If you don't have evidence to prosecute, don't arrest anybody. Nobody will be persecuted. But let me tell you, any individual who have been found to have or have been believed to have done something wrong to this country will have the test of the law. And we have to allow that to happen so that the political class will have some fear even when they are going to commit some crimes. Look, the MPP led by Penyoma is not their grassroots, because the cause of calling for justice and prosecution involve even MPP people who are Ghanaian. It is only Penyoma and his group who are obstructing any path to, hold people accountable. And that obstruction will not stand. When the government is fully structured and begin to move, you will see action in this country. Today, if national security is leading and championing a cause that to clean up our country, they should be commended. Now, the conversation about police not being in charge is not true. Every operation that is being done has the collaboration of the police, the military, the BNI, NIB, and other security agencies. National security is a body that consists of all these entities. Don't also forget that the change or the reshuffle in the police administration just occurred. And that it's just so reasonable that you allow the police administration itself to restructure. Because there are some elements within the police system who are worse than politicians. And those elements will have to be curtailed to ensure that professionalism is come back to work. Now, if you, a journalist, even arrest a criminal, I will be happy. Because we are curbing crime. So that conversation about police administration diminishing is not true. It is only a diversionary conversation by the MPP. Look, the MPP complained about Galamsey recently, very fiercely, as though they were not the people who led deliberately, enabled people to mine in our forest reserves and our water bodies. Okay? We came into government barely 100 days. They are accusing us. When we began to do operations to curb Galamsey activities, they say, why are you burning machines? Why are you burning machines? So they want to ensure that the business of growing this country, stabilizing this country, is politics as usual. Right. You know? And that is not the focus of this government.
That's Mustapha Gbande, is the Deputy Director of Operations at the Presidency, speaking.